Afternoon, everyone. Today we're in my shop where I store everything, and I'm going to be doing a lot more work in this shop than I have been in the past. Usually it's just little minor stuff, but I'll be working a lot on a trailer as long as I can. There's no heat in here. I can turn the heat on. It's right up there, but no sense me heating this big old huge shop with the 18-foot ceilings, and you know, I'm only going to be in here temporarily once in a while, and I just rather heat everything in my garage. But with all that being said, I got to do some work on a trailer, and it's easier to do it in here when it's raining and everything outside versus trying to have it halfway in my garage at home, because it won't fit all the way in there. So right now I have to get everything ready for Monday, because we have our first huge cleanup Monday because everything is falling. This morning it was 25 degrees, and just today these leaves in this yard fell that much. This was all cleaned up yesterday. This is neighbor to my shop, of course, but he had this, there was no leaves there because the wind was blowing everything away, and then that's just from overnight this morning sometime. So here is my tiger cub. That's going to be going on the front of this trailer. Well, you can't see nothing much there. And I'm going to have to get the tiger cat off. I'm going to have to get the DR hull hooked up and all ready to go. So I'm going to be hooking everything up, test it all out, make sure it all works together, and get it rolling, because the Gravely will not be going with us on these big cleanups. And unless there's a place to dump on site, then we'll have both in there. But I'm going to try and see how I could fit the tiger cub, the cat, and the DR all pulled on the trailer at once without having any problems, but we'll see what happens with it. So let's get everything pulled off and get started here. Okay, now before I get started loading everything up, see how everything fits, there's a couple changes I have to do because we're changing things, the way we're doing things this year. And I'm also going to show you how I built my leaf box in the front and what I did with it, because there's been a couple questions on that. So I'm going to go over all of our like a fall cleanup thing, or fall cleanup setup we got, I guess, or fall, or a setup for fall cleanup. There we go, that's what it was. Just couldn't spit it out. So let's go over that, and I'll explain some things that I've been doing and some things that don't work and some things that I'm going to change to make work. Okay, here's my tarp that's going to cover this whole trailer, since we're doing everything differently this year. The tiger cub's going to be backed up in there, and I'm going to be pushing all the leaves off of the trailer. I'm going to be filling this whole section up with leaves, so I'm going to have to tarp everything so they don't blow out going down the road and I don't get a ticket. So we'll start. I know a lot of people have seen this trailer, but there's a lot of people that haven't. So this deck is 20 foot long. The sides are 1/2 inch treated plywood, which I reinforced with 2x4s, and I have extra clips on the side there to hold everything in place here. I use this to help prop out the DR, and you never know when you need something to help prop something up. That side I got tripods in a way, but there's a broom, flat shovel, spade shovel. I use that hook and claw on there just to clean out the decks, and then I got a pitchfork, because sometimes you need a pitchfork. Rose bushes, when you trim them all up, get them in a pile, that way you don't have to touch them. This is an angled trailer. It is a load trail trailer. I bought this brand new 6 years ago, I think it was. So, and on the front of the trailer, I have another toolbox that I made. Carries extra tarps. That's my 2-stroke mix, so I don't get mixed up with anything else. Bungee cords, clevis, wasp and hornet killer, because you always need that. I got an extra hitch in here just in case one gets lost or stolen. I think there's a chain in here too. Yeah, there's a chain there in case I get the lawnmower stuck, which, yeah, everybody knows I get the lawnmower stuck all the time. More tie down straps in here too. I use them for when I get stuck. Rack on the side, I made that a 2x6, and this right here is gate stops. I got them at Home Depot. I'm not sure how much I paid for it. It wasn't that much, but yeah, that rack was supposed to have been replaced this year, but we just never got to it. So I will be replacing that next year, because every one of these trimmers can be locked up. I have it a lock and a eye bolt there. I just want to make things easier, and I like the way the Green Touch is, where I can key everything to one lock, and that's where all these locks everywhere I have are all one key. Never got around to putting a tension spring in here, but one of these days I will get it in there, and that's where my string sits. 5-pound roll of string I got off of Amazon for, I think it was $60, something like that. This toolbox, $100 toolbox. Hole here, it's cracked there. That's from this. Lid doesn't get secured all the way and it flips up going down the road. So I got Vicki's little handheld blower, regular grass, Gorilla Tape, extra trimmer head, more tie downs, some more of Vicki's hand tools. Need a small ball peen, large crescent wrench, and then we pick all these up because we use these to mark off like new yards if they got new sprinkler system or new something in a yard that's we don't want to hit, so we put these out there. It kind of freaks people out, but it's just for our use. Of course, we can pick up empties all day long. This latching system, that's a pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is this is all broke down over here. That's from going down the road and it's vibrating back and forth. Plus, me hitting the back of it with the gravely in the blower, so I'm going to put a piece of plywood on here, a piece of plywood on there. And I'm going to paint this whole box green. So it's going to be the same green as here, which is a forest green, I believe, or hunter's green. I think it's hunter's green. Can't quite remember. This spare tire is over here, and I am going to end up moving it over there because I can't do nothing because that the tailgate assist, you know, I can't mount anything there, so the spare tire might as well go over there. And I'm going to put a couple racks here for my backpack blowers. Now this double barrel lift gate assist, I was told would not work on this trailer. As always, people always tell me what I can and can't do. Well, I put this on there a month after I got this trailer, because after the whole day of lifting this tailgate up, even though it's a small tailgate and there's a beaver tail here, it still gets heavy after 12 hours and 90 degrees. Well, this tailgate also came with some real fine mesh, and after 2 years I had this all busted out from these mowers, heavy mowers going up and down it, so that is a catwalk grate. And I flipped it around so the sharp edges where I was going up it, I wouldn't slip when it gets wet. So that was something fixed. I fixed this 4 years ago, something like that. And it hasn't even started flexing yet, so that's perfectly good. Of course, it made the tailgate heavier. I had to adjust the tension up on that, which still no big deal. And again, that's still holding up after 6 years, I think it is, or 5 years. So I'm not sure how much it was. I think it's got $140, $150, something like that. Could be wrong on that. So let's get this mounted up. I'm going to have these, the front of this tarp anchored to the front up there, and I'm just going to roll this tarp up and bungee cord it up there so it's with me all the time, and I just have to roll it out. So let's get this hooked up. built for the season. Just bought this. Okay, let's hook this hose up now. If you're watching my last video, some of you have seen it, some of you haven't. This is a little bit too short. It'll fit on there, but it's too short. So I have a splice. Actually, I'm not going to use this splice. I have a couple splices. Put this on here. I try to keep these bridge clamps. They're called bridge clamps because they, you can see that, they bridge between these two. I try to keep them in the same exact spot on the hose on both ends. That way everything's going the same direction. It's easy to hook and unhook. Okay, and then I have another piece of hose. So the problem with the hoses is, one's a left-hand spin and the other one's a right-hand spin. Actually, I got it the other way around, but you know what I mean. So I have two different kinds of bridge clamps. Anyway, when you get your finger stuck in there, anyhow, that should work out pretty decent, I hope. It's a lot of extra hose, it should work out pretty good. Okay, now before I put everything away and load everything up, let's give this a start and see how it all works. Makes a lot of racket. So this is my main two pieces of machinery, or equipment, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to be using. This is going to be an absolute monster, I know it is. I might have a few problems with that hose, but Gorilla Tape does a wonderful thing. I can rip that hose in half, put some Gorilla Tape several times around there, and it'll last for 2 years, and that hose will never come apart where that Gorilla Tape was. Might come apart other places, but Monday, we're supposed to get a lot of rain on Sunday. Actually, you're going to see this on Sunday, so it'll be today that we're going to get a lot of rain. It's supposed to be about an inch, half inch to an inch of rain. So these amount of leaves that we're going to have is going to be really, really wet. So we'll be taking this, and then we're going to have that mower in front just bulldozing everything out. So and then there's going to be 1 yard we're going to be using both setups. Vicki will be on this, and I'll be on this, and we're going to be dumping on site. But first I have to get all them leaves pushed up for the past 2 years because we're getting too far out in the yard. So this is pretty much what our setup's going to be for this year. So I don't know how this is all going to work. It's going to be a big old test here in 2 days, and it's going to be interesting. I think this setup right here is just going to be just killing through them leaves. Killing through them, they're sucking them leaves up and getting rid of them fast. And then we're just going to fill that trailer up in that 1 yard, and then we have another cleanup across the street on that, about the same amount of leaves. But I'm not sure if we're going to be cleaning that one up or not, because I don't know if it's the same trees. I don't know if the leaves are all down or not. So that's our setup for the season. There's going to be changes as we're going, but I'm thinking we're pretty good on everything. We just got to keep everything together and everything fixed. So every time we see something, when I was loading up this DR, I noticed one of the tires is shredding. So I'm going to call up DR and get new tires and rims coming. I tried before to get an aftermarket tire. Just the tire alone was $30. Well, I could get the tire and rim for $25. So I'm just going to order 4 of them. I order 4 of them every 2 years, and I don't have to ever worry about it. And the way them tires switch on and off, it's so fast, so easy. I keep an extra tire with me up in that toolbox at all times. So that's pretty much going to be it for me for today. Please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified. Everybody have a good evening, and we will see you on the next yard.